So it's been a few years since we posted anything. My son pointed out that he thinks it was about 4 years. Didn't realize it'd been so long. We had a few things happen. We bought some shipping containers here during COVID when it was too expensive to buy any of the wood to build. And we've converted them, well, at least the left side, into barn. We took old trailer house windows with good screens on them, so we have airflow, and put them in there. And we got some vents that we can adjust up here. A couple of them are a little tricky to get going, and we converted it into, this one is a bunny barn, or rabbits, whichever you prefer. Our first winter, last winter, with the cages in here, they were all off to the one side. It was very hard to keep the cages clean, even with the middle trays here. We had them sitting the wrong way because we didn't have time to cut them. We were just trying to get them all out of the cold for the winter. But all of our breed stock's in here. These new cages we put in this year, well, not new, but refurbished, work a lot better. And if we need to, they're 2x2 sections, so we can always just move them back, clean underneath them. Yes, Kaylee, we'll get to you. She's excited. They're about to get fed, so they're pretty happy. We're going to be breeding here in March. We like to keep it close to the full moon. Seems like we get bigger numbers. Didn't realize that was a thing. But we have a bunch new, so we'll introduce them. Here's little Eva. Of course, now she doesn't want to look at us. We'll start with all the ladies. So Eva here. Yes, we named you after Eva. We were trying to keep with the sci-fi theme, though my daughter got in here and named a few. And we have Lucy down here. We won her at the Hubbard County Fair, and actually got in contact with the lady who runs some of the booths there, and some of ours will be going to the fair as prizes. They do a screening, so that makes me feel a lot more comfortable about it. This is one of our 4th generation Rexes. We named her Taffeta. That was my daughter's influence there. She really only loves my daughter. It's nice to have some Harlequins here. We have Q. Yes, she loves her pets from my husband. Spoiled little thing. And here she is, we call her DS, but she's double stuffed because she looks like an Oreo cookie and her mom was cookies and cream. We called her Cece, but she is 3/4 Flemish, American Flemish, and then 4th Rex. But she has good numbers and really big babies, so that's always good. This is one of our velvets, Gadget. Yes, as in Gadget from Rescue Rangers. We love that. I used to love that show. She loves attention from me. Sprinkles. She's got little sprinkles of Harlequin all over her. Most of these have been good mamas so far for the ones that have been bred. We have Angela. She was from another farm and has given us some good breed stock. In fact, if I remember right, Perdita is hers, and Perdita has been giving us a whole bunch of Harlequins. Here is Anna, who is mostly Flemish. I can't remember the proper mix right now, but her and her sister Elsa are 2 that we kept because they give really good ones. Elsa is our biggest lady here. And they've both been pretty good mamas, good sizes, good quantities. We haven't really had much for death rates and stuff from them. Perdita here is a lovely velvet. She's the one that's been giving us tons of Harlequins. In fact, she's the mom to Kaylee, as in Kaylee from Firefly, just because. She's just as excitable. Yes, you love your pets. She's like an excitable puppy sometimes, but then she can be like a cat. Like, I don't want pets. But she's one of our bottle-fed babies. Her and her brother Brillo looked like a Brillo pad all scuffed up. But were two that were from Perdita in a batch that was way too big. She had 13 first batch, and we were afraid to lose them. So we bottle fed this beautiful girl, and now she is just spoiled, absolutely spoiled. She even has a toy. She likes her little Jello cup. Whoop, door closed. Sorry, sweetie. Yeah, but she doesn't care who pets her as long as it's someone. She got pretty used to them. Brillo used to ride on your shoulder like a kind of like a parrot. But he actually went to the fair and became the pet to a lovely little, I think it was a 5-year-old girl that just, absolutely spoils him. Here we have River, who is mostly Flemish with the chinchilla patterns, just like her dad. Her ears aren't quite as big and floppy as him, but we have not bred her yet, so we'll see what we get from her. Ina is from outside stock. She's part Polish and Rex, kind of shy, but a velvet. And, where'd she go? This one likes to tunnel. She looks a lot like Ina. And now for the life of me, I can't remember her name. Yeah, Eva's down at the end. This one's what they call a seal coat. It gets that brown, that like chocolatey black. Right now she's got her winter coat in, so it's kind of hard to see. But she's a velvet as well. Zoe, that's what we named her, Zoe. We were keeping with the Firefly theme. Okay, that's our ladies. Yes, I know you guys are just absolutely adorable and hungry. I'll give you your food after I'm done. This is Baron. We normally put him with Gadget. We get a lot of velvets off of them. Yeah, he's now in the top cage. I had him in the bottom cage during last winter, and he kept escaping, trying to get to the ladies. Here is Doctor Who. Is who most of the time we just call him Doc or Who, which confuses people, which is awesome. He's pretty big. He was from our original Rex line when we first started, and we had a couple come out and buy some of the babies off of us, and then they ended up breeding them. So he's actually from our original line, but bred into a different line and made him really, really big. But, oh, he's gorgeous. He loves his pets, too. And then we have Wally. Yes, a Wally and an Eva. We had to do that. He's just like River. They're brother and sister. They have mostly Flemish. And we were worried that George wasn't going to make the winter, but he seems pretty good, just having naps. Andy here is a mini Lop. The first one we actually got him in trade from the lady from the county fair that she was from the people who do the booths and rides. He is going to be part of our breed stock. We're going to be breeding some for her for the fair. So that'll be exciting. Yes, you will be getting some girlfriends next month. We have Mars here and Zoe were both also Kaylee's siblings from Perdita. It's hard to see. He looks mostly black right now because of the winter coat, but he's also got kind of a seal coat where it's dark chocolate and black mixed in. It's a real pretty mix. And then we have Dorian, which we thought was an Adora until it hopped on another bunny and we realized, nope, that's not a girl. It was a boy. So we named it Dorian, because my youngest had picked him out and didn't want to get rid of him. So here we have George taking a nap. His big floppy ears over the front. He likes his hay. He normally burrows into it. They're going to get cleaned out and fresh hay today, so he'll be excited and bouncing around later. But then he'll snooze and then his old man naps. Ash is half Californian and half New Zealand. We've been breeding him with Perdita, and that's where we've been getting all these beautiful harlequins and seals and just good mix and quantity of babies. And so we're going to continue with that again this year. And then we have our wonderful little mascot, Jack Jack, who is the cuddliest, most attention-hounding bunny of all of them. And he's getting old, but he's one of those that will live to a nice good old age. He will never get butchered. He will never get sold. He's like the favorite pet. And he can still do his job, which is great too. He's the grandson of our first bunny rabbit, who my husband was pretty attached to. We had a dog get into those outside cages and killed him. He was pretty upset about that one. Bunny ended up dying in his hands, and yeah. You are just as affectionate, though you don't play dead like your grandpa used to, do ya? Yeah. This guy's a big cuddle bunny. Yeah. If he could, he would literally climb into my jacket if I opened it up. And because he likes to just bury his head in our armpit and then warm up. Yes, you like to be warm. It's okay, we'll get all that soiled hay out of there. And we'll get you some fresh stuff today. I'll give you a whole bunch so you can just burrow right in. Yeah? Yeah. Aw. He makes cute little whining noises too. I know. I'll pet you some more when I give you some. Yeah, I know. We gotta put yourself back in the cage. I know. It is so hard leaving him every day. My husband has suggested that we bring him in the house, but males have a tendency to spray, and we tried that with one we thought was a girl, and yeah, it didn't work. This other shipping container, you don't see any windows yet. That one's going to be a chicken barn. We haven't fenced anything out here yet, but we're just going to get enough chickens this year to put them in some mobile tractors. We've got all this fencing and cages from a mink farm that got sold. They haven't done mink in a long time, but he was trying to get rid of all these cages, and we bought, I think, 2 trailer loads off of him before he finally just came and dropped off. He had a bunch that were slightly dented and could be used to repair other cages. He brought a whole trailer load out just to give them to us, which was nice, and he hasn't even gotten through all the barns yet, so this is nice. We have some old tables my mom used in her greenhouse that we're going to use as walls for chicken tractors, so we can move around the field here. And so we're going to get some meat chickens and maybe some turkeys. And I'd like some straight runs of my favorite chickens, which are the black Australorps and the black lace golden Wyandottes. I usually get them from Cackle Hatchery, since I have never had a single chick dead on arrival. And they've always made it at least a week. And if they've died after that, it's been because they, scared each other or something, or dogpiled, and we try to prevent that as much as possible. I got bigger brooders this year, and we're going to stagger them so that they are not getting all of them at once. We'll get the meat chickens first, along with the turkeys for the portable tractors, and then we'll probably order the straight runs about a month after that, so that about the time they're out of the brooder, I can put them in. We're going to keep all the hens from the straight run and then choose a few roosters. I normally try to have 2 to 3 roosters for about 30 to 60 chickens. I had fox issues, and my cousin said that there are fox out here sighted out again. So we are going to have to be really diligent with the fencing we're planning. We have a lot of popples that have grown in here that we're going to be cutting down and weeding out of here, cleaning up the piles that we cut down last time. We've had all these little ones grow in right through the pile. But the tractor is up and running. We're working on hydraulic system to work on adapting bobcat parts to it. Most of it is all together. We just need the hoses, and then of course it snowed, so we can get that project finished. Once most of these popples are down, we're going to be putting up 10-foot high fencing. I got 8 foot technically. It's getting rolls of 5 foot because it seems like everyone wants 4 foot and 6 foot, and there's always 5 foot available. So we'll be getting 5 foot fencing and using big solid posts that my husband's going to cut on the sawmill to put it up, and then overlap the 5 foot fencing, so I end up with 8 feet tall, and then bury the bottom part a bit, and then we're going to be burying extra fencing below so critters can't dig in. And so if I want to, once we get this done, I'll be able to maybe put a goat or a pig or something in there too, and they won't dig out, which will be awesome, because every once in a while I just want to put them in there to eat all the poison ivy, and which they're not a lot, but there are big patches here and there. And if they eat all the poison ivy and some of the baby popples, I don't have to keep as much maintenance on everything. So fencing, I don't know if we'll get that to this year. I'm trying to keep small enough numbers of hens this year that they'll be pretty comfortable in the shipping container, and maybe some small kennel panels outside with a cover. We'll see how it goes. The big thing is getting my chickens back. I used to have quite a few customers in the summer, but I miss the taste of farm fresh eggs, and I can't always count on my sister to have them because she's got customers. I don't want to take business away from her either. She's doing pretty good. She had a bear that got in last summer, or was it the summer before? It killed 4 of her chickens. I think it was 4, but they had some issues. I don't, if she's increasing her numbers, I don't want to take away from her. We moved the sawmill out here in a more open area. It's one of those Arbor Freight sawmills. We put an extended deck on it. Well, changed out the deck that's on it so it's longer, but we still kept the previous deck so that we can put it on the end and extend it. He's got to do a few things for that yet, but we can at least maneuver logs without having to do a hoist. If we need to, we can use one of the other tractors. Some of them are busted, some of them are for parts, but we're working on saving up for a garage, and he's got some beams to cut for the garage. So it'll be a busy summer. We got that huge stack of trees, and my uncle's got a whole bunch more set aside for us. So hopefully we'll get to those before they start rotting or anything. Plus we've got so many popples around here. I'm hoping some of them are big enough for some posts. We probably need, I think, 30 or 40 posts to get the north side done, and maybe the west side of my fencing done. I would like to put them as close together as I can for reinforcement, but far enough apart where I'm not digging every 2 feet. So it's all in all, we got tons to do. We're hoping to put a roof across the top of these 2 barns this year, so we have less heat issues. With the front doors opening, we were able to stick industrial fan in the front with a portable welding generator to at least suck the hot air out on the really hot days this last summer, which was great, but it only runs for 3 days. So we turn it on for 8 hours. Once it cools off, you turn it off. I really don't like having to have the ends open when there's skunks around. Apparently they don't like vinegar, so we were pouring some store-bought vinegar around, and then all of a sudden the skunks disappeared. But I don't think that's a deterrent for fox. I really wish it was, because like I said, my cousin sighted one around here, and with my luck it would kill off all my chickens and then get hit by a car like it happened last time. But we're going overboard with fencing and reinforcing it, because I do not want to lose 65, 70 chickens in an entire summer like I did. Was it almost about the time I last posted, 4 or 5 years ago. It's frustrating, and I'd rather put them in a soup pot than lose them to a fox. We got to put windows and ventilation in, mostly vents, in this summer for the chickens. And then over here we're going to be building, my husband calls it a pavilion, but basically a roofed, one-sided shed, the side facing the south. And then we're going to have roll-up sides with the excess greenhouse plastic we get, with chicken coop wire and a door. It's going to be pretty big, but portable tractors for the bunnies is okay and all, but the sheer numbers we're starting to deal with in the summer is outgrowing our tractor space, and having to come out here and move 6 to 7 tractors 4 to 5 times a day, depending on the grass growth, is a bit much when you're trying to do a bunch of other projects too. So we're thinking if we get this, if we get the pavilion done over here, we'll still have an outside space where they're not getting too hot, where we can feed them hay, and they'll still grow just as fast. Plus it means I don't have to worry about tipped over cages and extreme wind. We had to come out one year before we put this garden fencing in. It was actually right in that area where we were moving the rabbits, and they were expecting 40 to 60 mile-hour winds just to brush right through here. And so we took a whole bunch of fence posts I hadn't used up yet, and actually hammered them in that last time we moved the tractor on both sides of the tractor so that they didn't flip, which was good because some of them had moved a couple inches overnight in the wind, so we knew a few of them probably would have flipped. And knowing how smart my animals nearly end up being, is they probably would have found some way to wiggle out of there, or if it started raining, some of them might have drowned. But it's a bit of a low spot here. It'd take a lot of water, but you never know how smart animals are. Some poultry likes to literally look up at the sky and then drown themselves. So we'll see how that goes this summer. Lots of projects. I also want to put a garage up next to, we gotta clean all this out of here. They're gonna put a garage here. There's not enough room across the road there. That trailer there needs to come out of there. But that's actually a portion on my uncle's property. We have a zigzag here but this whole field here is ours. And so we're gonna take these 2 trees down and put it there. I'm hoping to replastic the greenhouse this summer. It's gonna be about $1,200 because I'm gonna do a double layer like my mom does next door. The little solar bubble fan that will puff them up, and then the snow will slide off easier. We need to do more new shoulder boards. You can see the ones here on the south side are still intact. The ones on the north side, let's see here if I can see it from, you can see a couple sitting there. Most of them ripped off. The bolts actually sheared off with the wind, and I had to take down the roll-up sides, which are still intact. I can use them again. And then of course the top started ripping up, and we just had to cut it off, and we'll have to fix it all up once we get the plastic. But for now I'm hoping to just clean it out. It's accumulated some stuff in there so that we didn't have animals in it, and we did still grow in it. The grant is over now. It was a 5-year grant program, so thankfully the plastic lasted long enough for the grant, and we didn't have to worry about replacing it in the middle of that because I did not have the money last year. Looks like my fabric doors are probably going to need to be replaced too. The one on the east side practically sheared off, and my husband got too close to it with the tractor, and the hot part of the ventilation part on top of the tractor burnt through a couple holes into it. But then, of course, he caught it just right, and the wind caught it just right, and it just sheared off. So we just cut it the rest of the way because it was just hanging there. But this side, I don't know, this is pretty intact, considering I would still like to replace it because I like the pulley system we put on the east side. Of course, we got the pulley system inside just to have it rip and all that, so at least the pulleys are good. We'll have to replace the rope by then. That orange nylon lasts a decent amount, but probably the life of the doors. So yeah, we are been busy, gonna be busy. At least the kids are old enough to help, and we're still here. Thankfully, none of our immediate family was taken by COVID or any of the sicknesses. So we'll still be around, hoping to post some more stuff now that we're a little more able to. And I'm hoping as soon as we get on the sawmill to do an update on that, since he's got it in a more open area. And I'd like to have him throw the extension on so you guys can see how that turned out. He is loving that Arbor Freight sawmill. I know some people think it's a little dangerous, but everything is dangerous nowadays, and you need to take a bit of caution with anything that's got a running blade. But yeah, I'll get off my soapbox for that one. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Otherwise, I think that's about it for now. I'll try to update once the snow's gone a little bit more and we get some more progress. And otherwise, we're just working on the house. Got some flooring in. Had a weak spot in the flooring, and all the kids have their own bedrooms completely done now. We got a couple doors to hang. Bathroom we have to re-gut because we had found some issues there. Not everything's going to get done this winter, but I prefer to do house projects in the middle of winter. My pantry needs its flooring done, which I've got. I just need the underlayment for under it. But our order was wrong. We got something on sale, and when they shipped it, it wasn't as thick as it was supposed to be, according to the website. And so we had to double up on those boards to do our flooring, or those sheets of plywood to do our flooring. Instead of using one sheet, we were using two. So instead of getting my pantry and the kitchen dining room area done, we just pretty much are doing the kitchen dining room area. And then the little part that combines the two trailers together, the little divide. There's a little reinforcement we got to do. And it's the wonderful part where we have to move the fridge and the stove and do the part under there. And so, yeah, it'll be a fun Saturday next week. But yeah, you guys, we're still around, and we will hopefully post soon. Bye, peeps.